In the previous episode, there was a conversation about being made to feel like you're a black sheep. What do we do if we feel like our church community as a whole is treating us this way?
Okay, so this is a big question,
That's
honestly.
a real question.
So to answer this question, I actually went and I talked to Pastor Scott and Pastor Matt, leaders and who have been in the church world for a long time. And to be perfectly honest with you, both men have been black sheep in the past. And so I wanted to get their idea. And so what I'm about to read is some of the kind of culmination of what they said to me. Start with this. These are my words. I'm going to ask you guys to start with the conversation of what's said in the Beatitudes. Blessed are the meek. Being meek does not mean that we are pushovers, but it does mean that we're willing to examine ourselves first and examine our hearts, examine the bigger issue at hand before we just lose our minds over it. Because the initial instinct is like, oh, well, they're treating me like this. Well, then shame on them. And there's like pride that comes up inside of you all of a sudden. You're like, well, I don't care what people think.
Right.
There's between not caring what people think and being prideful. I'm just being real with you guys. All right. So the question comes, you ask yourself, when you're asking yourself, I'm being black sheep, what does that actually mean? What does being black sheep actually mean to you in the situation? Okay. Now, the question comes from a place of self-evaluation. Are you being treated this way because there's something that is personally believed in the church that you've openly bucked against? This is a solid belief, maybe not necessarily a biblical belief, sometimes biblical, but it's something you're just like, well, I don't like that. I don't like how they're doing that. Okay. Maybe that's part of the process. But let's my place here. Is there a racial or cultural prejudice in the church, in the culture that you're in? Because that's an aspect you got to work through sometimes. We all have to ask these questions if we feel like we are in the situation. The next level would be to have you have you done something that's caused some offense towards someone else? Like evaluate yourself going, have I said something that offended somebody? Have I done something that's offended somebody? Right. And it's kind of just spread out from there because everyone's too nice to say, hey.
Right, yeah. Is that the fruit of something that's gone wrong? Maybe it's undealt with.
Exactly. So I keep losing my place, guys. I apologize here.
Yeah, the key thing now, once you've asked those questions,
how do you resolve this? We have to be honest. We have an honest conversation with leadership. Honestly, start there. Like, sit down with your pastors and go, hey, this is how I feel. Yeah, which can be intimidating.
Yeah, you go to somebody that's trusted, somebody that you trust has godly wisdom, and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, and be authentic about that, and and have some outside eyeballs other than what you're perceiving. Evaluate what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. And so do that. Go to them, talk to them, be real with them, explain your feelings. And my hope, pastors who are listening, you're willing to listen.
Yes.
And don't just dismiss people because maybe it rubs your feelings wrong. Now, another aspect, going deeper, is there could be some issues within leadership. This happens. And sometimes it trickles down. At the same time, if you've done the evaluation, made sure that it's not something you did or something going on in leadership, sometimes those feelings of feel like you're a black sheep, like you're not fitting the community, sometimes that's God making us uncomfortable to prepare us for a move, to shift from that community to a different one. Not every time. And do not take what we're saying, oh, here's my license to leave my church. Don't do that. Nope. That's stupid.
Go through the process.
Go through the process and really, really pray. The Lord is more about restoring. You see God talk more about restoring community, restoring relationship than he does, I got my feelings hurt, I'm going to leave. Yeah. I need you guys to be real careful about this. And it's easy when your emotions are in play.
It is, and it's a super important thing because the moment we start dealing with people, then we're already in perfect situations because people are people.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in situations to where things aren't always going to feel the way that you would like them to feel. And you're going to have to learn how to navigate relationship, and understanding that you're surrounding your community of faith is something that is very important that God uses for your spiritual growth. So that's something that we receive with gravity, and we navigate through that, keeping in mind that we want God's best will for our life and whatever those situations pan out to be.
Right. Absolutely.